Hey, what is up, guys? Gats is back here. We're actually going to be checking out Warlock today. Had a couple people request that, so I figure, hey, let's go check out Warlock. Got my Warlock here. She looks just like my my live Warlock, except she's wearing all this placeholder gear. It's cool, cool anchor-themed thing. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. So let's get in game. Let's take a look at this. Alright, so, first things first, we're going to be playing Affliction Warlock, checking that out. This is actually what one of the followers, Bori, he actually wanted me to take a look at this for me. Or for him, rather. So we're going to take a look at talents first. Actually, before we look at talents, let's take a look at what we have baseline here. Because this is the most important thing. So we still have Agony. Still got our Command Demon, of course. That's never going to go away. Corruption, Agony, the two baselines. Still got our Soul Well. Fear is still here, of course. We've got our Drained Soul. Demonic Gateway still around. I have Kilrog that no one's used in a million years. Still here, though. Still cool, I guess. Can still steal some demons. Hopefully there's still demons left after we vanquish the Burning Crusade. Yeah, the Burning Crusade. The Burning Legion. There we go. Summon, Seed of Corruption, still one Soul Shard. We have Shadow Bolt now instead of Drained Soul. Which is going to throw a lot of people off. So this is the new filler. Pretty awesome, we're back to that. Hopefully that still feels good. I didn't care for the standing in place channeling, so that's going to be a nice change. But Shadow Fury is now baseline, it looks like. Make sure everybody else still has it. Yeah, Shadow Fury and Demo. And Indestra, yes, it looks like it's just baseline for Warlocks. Excellent, excellent. Can't go wrong with that. Summon demons, we've just got our standard 4 demons here. Imp, Voidwalker, Fellhunter, and Succubus. Unending Breath is still around. Unending Resolves, we have our defensive still. Unstable Affliction is still here. Imagine that. Best spell in the game, right? Right? Yeah. Looks like our Mastery is still the same. Increases the dot damage. Specifically only mentions Agony, Corruption, and UA, though. That's interesting. Let's see, for Soul Leech. Single target damage done by you and your minions grants you and your pet shadowy shields that absorb 8% of damage dealt for 15 seconds, up to 10% of max health. So I've got 14,640 HP right now. So that'd be, what, a 1,464 shield? Yeah, let's drop a 0, make it 10%. Alright. Still pretty good, still pretty good. And then, of course, Soul Shards. While out of combat, you regenerate up to 3 Soul Shards. So let's get some baseline abilities down here. Put these in the order that I'm used to on live. Looks like we had Seed of Corruption in 2 spots there. Don't really need that, though. How about they put this on my bar and I haven't collected it yet, because it's the class mount. I'm guessing whenever we get the pre-made characters later on in the beta phase, we'll probably have that. The guy was behind me, but in my frames, so it was like I was trying to trade him. That's kind of funny. Okay, so let's see. So, Demonic Gateway. Drop that here. Drop Soul Well on there. Let's make a Health Stone a while. Health Funnel goes to the Demon. Drain Life. I don't know how often we're going to use this. We'll put it on a bar anyway. Huh, you know what? There's no life tap. That's what I'm looking for that I can't find is life tap. Okay, so life tap is gone. I have mana, but I do not have life tap. What actually costs mana? Shadow Bolt. Okay. Huh. Agony, Corruption, Soul Well. Okay. This will be interesting. Alright, let's take a look at talents here. It's changed quite a bit, actually. There's a Coming Soon. It's been lost in Nether, but it will be found soon. Probably won't be seeing that for probably a build or two. Alright, so first row, we got Shadow Embrace. Shadow Bolt applies Shadow Embrace, increasing your damage dealt to the target by 3% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So that there, of course, would put a big focus on maintaining a Shadow Bolt every 10 seconds. Probably pretty easy to do. Let's see, then we got Haunt. Ghostly Soul haunts the target, dealing shadow damage and increasing your damage dealt to the target by 10% for 15 seconds. Target dies, Haunt's cooldown is reset. Okay, so that's a damage buff that has a spellcast associated with it. And then Death Bolt launches a bolt of death at the target, dealing 40% of the total remaining damage of your damage over time effects on the target. That's pretty interesting. Okay. For now, we're just going to take Shadow Embrace. Take the most boring. You know what? Screw it. Let's take Death Bolt. I want to see Death Bolt. It sounds cool. Looks like Shadow Bolt, but like they changed the colors a little bit. So you got Writhe and Agony. Agony's damage may now ramp up to 15 stacks. Or Absolute Corruption, which is the same as on live right now. Corruption's now permanent and deals 15% increased damage. Okay. Death's Embrace. This is Agony, Corruption, UA, Seed of Corruption, and Shadow Bolt deal up to 40% increased damage on targets below 35% health. So our Execute's now in this tier here competing with consistent damage. So that's actually much more entertaining of a row. I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll do the Writhe and Agony. Seems like a good idea. We'll do Writhe and Agony. So we've got Demon Skin, which is that soul leech rate. Burning Rush, which of course is our movement speed. And Dark Pack, which is a defensive. So you got 3 defensive options here. Demon Skin typically was the go-to. I'm not going to really get into that with just standing here at target dummy, so we'll just take Demon Skin, because neither of these two are going to be useful here. So the Seeds. Seed of Corruption now embeds a Demon Seed into 1 additional nearby enemy. Currently, this embeds Demon Soul in 1 target. So it looks like that'll make it into 2, so you have 2. Hooray, hooray. Phantom Singularity. This was a 100 tier talent, I believe, on live, I think. Places Phantom Singularity above the target, which consumes the life of all enemies within 15 yards, dealing a bunch of damage over 13 seconds and heals you for some of the damage done. So I don't know if this is the same or different on live right now. I haven't actually played with Phantom Singularity. And Soul Harvest looks like it is just the damage increase that we're used to. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Yep, and it works the same as on live. So we're going to go ahead, we'll try Phantom Singularity, we'll see how that works. That sounds fun, actually. Alright, let's see. So we've got Dark Fury, reduces the CD on Shadow Fury by 15 seconds. Baseline is to 1 minute, so that would make it a 45-second cooldown. Pretty useful in M+. Mortal Coil, horrifies an enemy target into fleeing, incapacitating for 3 seconds. Heals you for 20% of max health, so still one of the most unique things we have. And Demonic Circle. Alright. Well, we're going to take Dark Fury and just reduce that cooldown. So I think that'll probably be our go-to for most things, just because having that stun more reliably is just going to be great. Alright, so Nightfall, which is one of the things I was looking for specifically. Corruption damage has a chance to cause your next Shadow Bolt to be instant until 25% increased damage. That just sounds great. It's great. It was always good. Sounds even better. Of course, the coming soon talent. And then Grimoire of Sacrifice. Sacrifices a demon pet for the power, gaining its command demon ability, and causing your spells to sometimes also deal 585 additional shadow damage. Now, that says sometimes, so I'm not sure exactly how strong that's going to be, but that's definitely interesting. It also gives you that reliable interrupt, which is never a bad thing to have as a Warlock, because God knows Warlocks need some sort of reliable interrupt to be able to take into, you know, Mythic Plus. The stun, I believe, is what we have right now, and then we have the interrupt with the Doomguard, which you're kind of pigeonholed into taking because it's the only useful talent. And then you have the Infernal, which has an AoE stun as well, which kind of picks up where Shadow Fury left off. Sacrifice sounds like it's probably going to be really, really good. It lasts an hour or until you summon a demon pet. So that's going to be great, probably, for quite a few things. We're going to pick Nightfall because I want to see just how often that procs, and just how mobile that'll make us here. We're going to try to be as mobile as possible. Last row, we got Soul Conduit. Every soul shard you spend has a 15% chance to be refunded. Standard, just the same as live. Creeping Death. Your Agony Corruption and UA deal their full damage 15% faster. That sounds great. This will probably be our go-to. And then Siphon Life, which we've had on live for quite a while. Still the same, just another dot. And heals you for 30% of the damage it does. So, a little bit survival, a little bit damage. Probably something for high movement, I'm sure. Creeping Death sounds like it's going to be great. We're going to take Creeping Death right now. Not that damage really matters at this point, because we are super early in Alpha, but that's going to do that. So we think we have, what? Deathbolt and Phantom Singularity. Now, Deathbolt does more based on the total remaining damage of your damage over time effects. So, move this around here. Pick up a demon. Typically, we would bring out, I believe, a Fell Hunter. Although I don't know what's changed with pets. So let's take a look at pets real quick, too. So let's see here. Our pet gets Devour Magic. Same as it has been. Shadow Bite is just flat shadow damage now. So that is actually a little disappointing. He used to do extra damage based on the amount of dots on your target, I believe. So that's a shame that it's not the same now. Let's take a look at the Succubus. Alright, so we got Lash of Pain, which is still shadow damage. Whiplash, which is a snare. You have Seduction, which is that Command Demon ability, which is a 30-second CC on a 30-second cooldown. It does have a cast time. She also has Lesser Invisibility, which is great. She stays out of line of sight in that, which is really good for Mythic Plus, too. You know, your pets won't accidentally pull. Check out Mr. Imp. His name is Yazjub, apparently. That's what it's telling me here in the UI. Pretty sweet. So he's got Blood Pact, which is actually still the stamina increase. So we do have a stam increase back, which is great. I think it's half of what priests get right now. Priests get a 10% stam buff. So just having that buff in general as a Warlock is great, again, to see that. Firebolt, 508 fire damage on a 1.44 second cast baseline. His Flee, where he actually will go and escapes to the Master, removing all stuns and roots from himself. Anytime he's stunned or rooted, he'll pop that, which is great. Really good in PvP. Singe Magic, he burns off harmful magic effects from an ally. He'll make sure you stay cleansed. Really, really good. Really, really good. It's only a 15-second cooldown, too. So I think it's safe to say Voidwalker is probably still just our tank. Let's take a look at him. Alright, so our Voidwalker here. His basic attack's Consuming Shadows. He drains 95 health from all nearby targets. So he's healing himself. That's great. Shadow Bulwark temporarily increases current and max health by 30% for 20 seconds. He auto-casts that below 20% HP. He actually starts out with 10,248 HP. So that's actually pretty good. He's a pretty beefy pet. And then his Suffering, 10-second CD. He taunts the target to attack him for 5 seconds and increases his threat against them. He taunts the current target if it is not attacking the Voidwalker, and taunts any target who attacks its master. So he will protect you. He has the passive of Shadow Shield, which encases the Voidwalker in Shadow Energy, reducing physical damage taken by 40%. So he is truly a tank. Thank God. Looks like there's actually a second page. Oh no. Threatening Presence. Intimidates any target the Voidwalker attacks, increasing threat gen. So yeah, he's still your tank. Still powerful, still strong. Will hopefully laugh and point at many things that he does not like. Alright. So let's go ahead. We'll assume we want that interrupt, because that interrupt is typically going to be what we're going to want all the time. Move that over there. It feels so strange not having 1.5 million buttons to play this spec. It really does. But that's okay. A little pruning is not a bad thing, especially whenever Warlocks had way too much going on in the first place. So, let's go ahead, let's take a look here, let's get into some combat. Start off by throwing our dots in there. Get a Shadow Bolt or 2 off. Looks like we actually had a Nightfall proc already. 2 Shadow Bolts out there, doing actually a good bit of damage. Wow, Nightfall is proccing quite a bit. Okay. That was weird. It looks like my debuff just fell off of there randomly. It's difficult to see when it's going to fall off because there's no timers on them. Okay, we'll put that back on. We'll do that. We'll put up an Unstable Affliction. Can I still put up multiple? I can. And we're going to cast this Death Bolt here. That did a couple thousand. That looked pretty good. Looked pretty strong, actually. Got a couple UAs out there. Got a Nightfall proc. Every time we get a Nightfall, we're going to shift to the left. Okay, oh, there was a Nightfall proc. Look at that. And they're going off. They're instant cast immediately. That's pretty good. I think the biggest thing here is that I don't have my standard dot timers. This is a little more difficult to play than I'm used to. Another Nightfall proc. That procs quite a bit. Quite a bit indeed. Okay. Get some UAs. We're going to put some, 4 UAs up, and then we're going to cast Death Bolt. Okay, so we're looking for this big Death Bolt. What does it hit for? 3,700. Okay. It's not too bad. The damage actually looks pretty good for this. Remember, we got all this damage over time going as well. And we can definitely put them on 2 targets at the same time. So we can have dots ticking on both. We've got Shadow Falls going off. I'm sure that the more we have, the more proc rates we are going to see. Let's see, we have more back there. So throw them on those too. And we'll just see how many we can get. It's just supposed to be off with those ticks. So we should be seeing them quite often, I would assume. Just getting nothing here. Maybe I'm playing a little too close to it. I don't know. But Shadow Bolt's hitting for about 1,600. That's actually pretty good. That's a lot of damage for your standard spam. Not having any issues whatsoever with mana, which is great. I'm glad we don't have to worry about that. We're going to put a bunch of UAs up and pop this Death Bolt. Let's see what happens there. 2365, and that wasn't a crit. So that would have crit for almost, was it like 50, 54, 5,500, somewhere around there? Give or take. So yeah, not too bad. Affliction looks looks pretty smooth, pretty reasonable. Oh, I didn't use Phantom Singularity at all. Let's pop that. So Phantom Singularity goes up, and it's just doing a bunch of damage. That's all I have doing damage up there besides the Fell Puppy. Let's put him on past there. So it's 418 to everything around it. That looks actually pretty good. Wow, and that's just a 40-second cooldown. Deals a bunch of damage and heals you for 25% of the damage done. So that's actually a really strong spell. That's just a Fire and Forget, which I'm not normally a huge fan of, but with as many moving pieces as Affliction Lock will have, that's probably a good idea. Let's move our frames down here where I can see them. There we go. So we're getting these out here, put some more dots up, get him back in there and attacking. You can do it. There you go, buddy. Alright, so we'll pop some UAs up again. And get this Death Bolt out there. I really like Death Bolt. It looks really cool. I only did like 1,500 that time. Yeah, so it's only corruption, and that Shadow Bolt's going to do extra damage. See, we're getting 1,600s. Okay, so here we have a Nightfall proc. Shadow Bolt goes out, it's 1,000 damage. Standard hits about 800, 838, 1,600 crit. Yep, so that's definitely working correctly. The Phantom Singularity looks neat. Nothing to complain about there. Affliction just looks like it's going to be good and normal, and I do like the Creeping Death. That looks really good. I like the look of that talent a lot. I'm never going to turn down, you know, essentially 15%, you know, haste. Like, that's crazy. That's going to be really good, I think, early on. Soul Conduit might end up picking up above that once we get to decent gear levels, but you really can't deny that 15% faster dot damage is a bad thing, especially in a spec where Agony's going to ramp up quicker and it's going to be ticking faster, so it'll ramp up faster and higher. That sounds pretty awesome to me. Deathbolt will probably have to be tuned to be pretty hard hitting to be worth it, but it should be good. Alright, so let's take a look at Destruction. Skipping over Demo for now because it's the one everyone wants to look at, I'm sure. And I'm going to give the most time to that because Demonology is really cool. Alright, so here we've got Destro. Let's take a look at the spellbook first. Chaos Bolt still here. 2 Soul Shards. Still have Conflag. Still have Create Soulwell. Let's see, we still have Havoc. Havoc is a 25-second cooldown. Still 10 seconds. Okay. Immolate still here. Periodic damage generates 1 Soul Shard fragment and has a 50% chance of generating 1 additional on critical strikes. Incinerate, still the same, generates 2 Soul Shard fragments and 1 additional on a crit. And Rain of Fire. Now, interestingly enough, Incinerate doesn't seem to have that little clause where it says it does more on a target with Immolate active. Does that still have that in here? Let's check our passive, see if that's maybe a passive now. Rain of Fire, still 3 Soul Shards. Not a channel, thank God. Thank God it's not back to a channel. There was rumors it could go there. Summon Infernal. 3-minute cooldown. Unending Breath, Unending Resolve. Backdraft. Conflag reduces the cast time of your next Incinerate or Chaos Bolt by 30%. Chaotic Energies, your spells deal 24 point, mastery value, increased damage, plus a random amount, up to an additional increased damage. It looks like it's your mastery chance twice. That's pretty cool. You take 5.5% reduced damage plus a random amount. Oh, so it's like versatility almost, the way it scales. It's interesting. Soul Leech and Soul Shards. Nothing too crazy here. Nothing too crazy. Pretty much just the standard stuff we've seen for Destruction. I think this is one of the specs they also said it wouldn't be changing too much because they like the way it plays. By they, I of course mean Blizzard. So, looking at talents. A whole bunch of stuff here. Whole bunch of stuff. We got Flashover. Conflag deals 10% increased damage and grants additional stack of Backdraft. That's pretty good. Eradication. Chaos Bolt. Increases damage you deal to target by 10% for 7 seconds. Doesn't look like it says anything about stacking anymore. Also, not a problem there. And then Soulfire, which is, I'm sure everyone's really thrilled to see that back, because Soulfire was really fun back in Kata. Burns the enemy soul, dealing a critical strike. So it looks like it's a guaranteed crit. For 3802 fire damage, damage is further increased by your critical strike chance. That seems pretty strong. That is a very long cast time. Reverse Entropy. Spells have a chance to grant you 15% haste for 8 seconds. That's just a passive, so that's just on spellcast? Okay. Internal Combustion. Chaos Bolt consumes up to 5 seconds of Immolate's damage over time effect on your target, instantly dealing that much damage. So your dot could fall off sooner, but you do more damage with Chaos Bolt, essentially. Alright. And Shadow Burn. 200 mana, blasts the target for Shadow Flame damage. The target dies within 5 seconds and yields experience or honor. CD reset. Generates 3 Soul Shard fragments. Not 3 Soul Shards. 3 Soul Shard fragments. Maximum of 2 charges. So that's pretty... That's really cool. I think that's back to... I think it was the MOP model? I think it's the MOP model of Shadowburn. Not too sure on that one. We'll see. Still Demon Skin, Burning Rush, and Dark Pact. I think this is the same across all 3. Let's see. New passive for 60 Inferno. Rain of Fire has a 20% chance to generate a Soul Shard fragment. So that's the damage from it has a 20% increased chance. Okay. Seems pretty good. Fire and Brimstone. That's your auto cleave. It's all targets for 40% of damage, generates one Soul Shard fragment for each additional enemy hit. And Cataclysm, that big spellcast, calls for the Cataclysm at the target location, dealing 2,280 Shadow Flame damage to all enemies within 8 yards and afflicting them with Immolate. So, you know, big AoE pack, you pop Cataclysm on them, they all get Immolate, you start spamming your, Man, if you could get Cataclysm and Fire and Brimstone together, oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be, whew. But no, I think Fire and Brimstone will probably just always be the go-to. Just because being able to cleave for 40% damage just seems way better than a 30-second with a cast time targeted damage thing. So, we'll have to see how it plays out. Dark Fury, Mortal Coil, Demonic Circle. I think this is the same across all of them as well. Roaring Blaze, Conflag burns the target for an additional 744 fire damage over 6 seconds. Supremacy, when you have an Infernal active, every Soul Shard you spend increases the damage of your Chaos Bolt by 8%. So it makes your Infernal do more damage, but that's a cooldown. How long is he out there for? I'm not sure how long he sticks around. We'll have to find out. Grimoire of Sacrifice, so you can still sack your pet, and it deals additional shadow damage. Okay. So Soul Conduit still here, Channel Demon Fire still here, and Dark Soul. Instant 2-minute cooldown infuses your soul with unstable power, increasing your crit by 30% for 20 seconds. This will probably be the go-to early on, just because, hey, free crit's free crit. Combo that with Soul Fire. That sounds pretty good to me. Sounds pretty good. So let's go ahead. Let's take Soul Fire. I like the sound of that. I like extra ability. Soul Fire. Here we go. We're not gonna be able to blow anything up with Shadow Burn, so we'll take that proc for extra haste. I think haste sounds great. Just grab Demon Skin. I'm not gonna be using Inferno. We'll take. Yeah, Fire and Brimstone sounds fine. Give us a little extra generation. Grab Dark Fury. So Roaring Blaze is Conflag deals extra damage over time. We have Supremacy, which let's see how this interacts. I don't know what Infernal's duration is. And take Dark Soul as well. We're gonna try this out. Probably not the optimal build. Maybe I stumbled across the optimal build. I'm sure someone can tell me later. I'm sure someone will in a comment somewhere. Can't wait for those comments. Alright, so Incinerate, Conflag, Immolate, Chaos Bolt. We have Havoc. Havoc is actually going to move. We got that Dark Soul. And our Inferno. We're going to put them right next to each other. Alright, so we're going to summon the Imp. Traditionally, I always used an Imp when I was playing Destruction. So we got the Soul Fire cast, covered in fire. Hopefully a big, actually not that big of a fireball. No, that is a 45-second cooldown. Okay, now I procced Reverse Entropy off my first spell. Oh, okay. So the fire spells are looking different here. We've got the new Immolate. Wow, these are hitting very hard. 2,000 crits. My goodness. Okay. Alright, so with Immolate up is doing extra damage. 1853, 18, nothing, 952. Alright, and we'll attack this guy over here. So it's like 952. 1800. Okay. So it looks like it just deals the same damage regardless if you have Immolate up or not. You obviously want Immolate up just for, you know, for the passive dot damage and the generation. But if it's not going to live long enough, I guess you don't have to do it anymore. That's pretty interesting. Alright, so let's see... Oh, my stats have been scaled. Oh no, I touched that PvP target. No! Oh, that ruins everything. Imp buddy, stop. I can't get that off. Damn it. That PvP training dummy is the most annoying thing. Because what he does is he scales you based on your character's level. So normally I would have, you know, more than just critical strike and mastery here. As you can see on my gear, I've got a bunch of versatility and mastery, so 69 mastery, right? I look here and it's like you have 0 mastery. You have 0 crit. You have 381 intellect. You have 277 that. I should be nowhere near that. I mean, just looking at what I have here, 381 intellect, I've got, you know, 38 and all that. It's just, there's no haste listed, nothing. So now I'm very, very disappointed. While we wait for that to fall off here, another couple of seconds, we're going to go get ourselves a legendary to play with. So one of the cool things on Alpha is the Flask Guitar, one of my favorite guys. He's right here, the legendary Flask Guitar. He's legendary, or legendary, you know, dairy. Puns are everywhere. Does the chicken dance for you when you click on him. He's just a vendor with legendaries on him. Now, some of these will not work correctly because certain ones just do not work. For instance, Soul of the Netherlord, it says, you know, to either give you Death's Embrace or Synergy or Eradication. It's actually where that specific talent was on the talent tree. It'll give you whatever is in that spot instead. So I'm assuming whenever they go to do the iteration in beta, where we're actually copying our characters over and testing things, these items will be, the soul items specifically, will either be changed to give you those specific talents that are listed on here if they still exist. In some cases they don't. Or it'll just be the spot where that was with the correct name. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm just going to pick up Kill Jaden's Burning Wish. And where's the other item I wanted to get? There's something I really wanted to play with. Cinderhigh Spite? No, it wasn't that. Oh, there it is, the Snare Ring. I wanted this for running around whenever I run around solo as Affliction. It's a very, very powerful item to have that snare while you're leveling. There's a lot of mobs during the leveling process that are just a little bit scary. So that PvP debuff is finally gone. I will not go to my left anymore. I'll shoot those back there. Yeah, we'll shoot those. Here we go. So it shoots all 3 of them. And they're very low level. So we're getting numbers that obviously don't make any sense. We'll just drop the Rain of Fire over there, too. Oh, that looks really cool. Like a bunch of little meteors coming down. Some mage player is going to freak out on me for even saying that or suggesting that. These mobs here these are 85, and these here are actually giving us appropriate damage for our current level. Not exactly sure why, but I'm not going to complain about it. This is what I was doing out on other mobs. It was, you know, numbers scaled this general way. So yeah, things that are immolated have that nice fiery red glow on them, too. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to Havoc that, and we're going to cast a Chaos Bolt for the first time here. New model for that. Wow, that looks gorgeous. Holy hell. That is, oh, that is neat. Look at that. Big green ball of death. I gotta generate some shards again. That looks really cool. Just charge up the bits here. Go ahead and summon our Infernal. Pop that crit. Put Havoc up, and let's cast a big Chaos Bolt. Here we go, look at that. Boom, 6,000 something. 7,000 something. And while we have this crit buff, let's use a Soulfire. See what it does. 8,000 damage from that. That's a very big hit. Chaos Bolt hitting for about 7, 7.8. So it's pretty high up there. So yeah, Destro looking to be in a very good place. This guy in front of me here is playing Demonology. As you can see, the imps are out there. So yeah, looking really good. Shadow Fury, I believe, still looks the same. Yep, still looks the same. We'll create a Soul Well just to create a Soul Well. Nothing has changed there. Imagine that. Cast Soul Stone. Hopefully it'll go on me and not the target dummy. Yep, invalid target. Alright, we'll try this again. Cast on Gatsu Lock. See what we get. Yep, no change there either. Unending Resolve, still the crazy looking, you know, skull-wrapped armor thing, and we're all protected for a couple of seconds. But yeah, one last time here, I'll see the Soulfire before I swap specs again. 6,000 something damage, that's pretty good. Ooh. I wonder if we can get that to work with Havoc. I wonder if that... We'll find out if that works with Havoc before we swap. Because it might work with Havoc. And that'd be pretty good if it did. I'd be okay with that for sure. Definitely would not complain if Soulfire worked with Havoc. Chaos Bolt again, looking so cool. Big green ball of death. Very much liking that. This guy has got... This is one Warlock here. He's got 4, 5, 6, 7. He just imploded on that. But he has a whole mess of imps. I believe those are Soulfire Molten Core procs he's shooting off there. That's it's actually pretty crazy. Alright, so we've got Soulfire back. So we're going to pop our Dark Soul. Get the Havoc up. And we are going to Soulfire, and we're going to see what this does. This should split it. It does. It splits it. 80, 87, 84. Pretty good. Double Chaos Bolt here. Well, it didn't do a double. I guess I took too long. But yeah, as you can see, some pretty good damage coming out of there. Backdraft, of course, still up for the reduced cast time. Alright, so. Demonology. Let's take a look. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did play this a little bit. I poked around with it because I wanted to see how it felt rotation-wise. And honestly, it felt very good. I went all the left-hand column. I just wanted to see what was going on with it here. There's quite a bit of interesting things talent-wise to go through. The first thing that should be really standing out here is Summon Demonic Tyrant. 1.5 minute cooldown. Summons a Demonic Tyrant to increase the duration of all your current demons by 15 seconds, and increases the damage of all of your other demons by 15 seconds while casting a Shadow Bolt volley at your enemies. So 15% longer duration on everything you have out, plus another 15% damage for all of them. And he'll just keep casting Shadow Bolt volleys. He's pretty cool. He's a huge demon. And he's out for... I think it's 15 seconds, I think is how long he's out. He's pretty scary. He's a big dude. Big dude. We have Call Dreadstalkers still. I believe this is our bread and butter. We have Demon Bolt, which looks like Soulfire, but isn't Soulfire, if that makes sense. We have Hand of Gul'dan. We have Shadow Bolt as our generator. Implosion is our baseline AoE. It says to all enemies within 0 yards. I believe it's actually 6 yards. It's a pretty standard AoE area. Unending Resolve, Demonic Core. When your wild imps expend all of their energy, they have a 10% chance to absorb their life essence, granting you a stack of Demonic Core. When you have summoned Dreadstalkers fade away, you have a 100% chance to absorb their life essence, granting you a stack of Demonic Core. Demonic Core reduces the cast time of Demon Bolt by 100%, maximum of 4 stacks. So it looks like Soulfire, but it's actually called Demon Bolt. I believe they actually changed that, because originally it was Soulfire. Now it's Demon Bolt. I know it had to have been called Soulfire at one point, because I know one of the people I watch on YouTube and Twitch and that had said the exact same thing, that they had Soulfire. So, I guess I gave that to Destruction and made that their new spell, which is fine. Demon Bolt sounds great. It's a much bigger fireball anyway. So let's see. So we have those spells. Dreadlash is a talent. Right. Okay, now there's this other passive. That's another passive talent. There's so many passive talents. I think I went the entire passive tree I could go. So let's just take a look here. So we've got Dreadlash. When your Dreadstalkers charge into battle, their Dreadbite attack now hits all targets within 8 yards and deals 25% more damage. So just a buff to your Dreadstalkers, probably never a bad thing. Demonic Strength. This is basically Demonic Empowerment for your Felguard. Demonic Empowerment is gone, which is good because it was very boring and felt very spammy. GCD locked you in Legion. So this feels much better. And Bile Scourge Bombers, very interesting talent here. 2 Soul Shards. This is a completely new ability. Tear open a portal to the Nether above the target location, from which Bile Scourge will pour out and crash into the ground over 6 seconds, dealing shadow damage to all enemies within 10 yards. So a new AoE. It does cost you 2 Soul Shards, though. It's a pretty neat talent visually, so we'll go ahead and we'll get that one just to show it off. Demonic Calling, Shadow Bolt, and Demon Bolt have a 20% chance to make your next call. Dreadstalkers cost no Soul Shards and have no cast time. Pretty similar to what we have right now in Live. It's a really good baseline talent. You have Power Siphon, 30 seconds CD, instantly sacrifice up to 2 imps to generate 2 charges of core. So basically, if you know you're going to need to move, you have some imps, and you're not going to implode them, but you need to move. Boom, there you go. You have 2 things to use while you move. And Demonic Core, of course, just cast Demon Bolt. Instant cast and free. And then Doom. We don't have Doom baseline. We actually don't have any dots baseline as Demonology anymore. Of course, our pets are kind of dots, so I can understand why. And it looks like the Doom is there. It's limit 1. It deals shadow damage after 30 seconds. Not sure how much use this will get as a talent. It kind of doesn't work right now on Live. It's just typically just not worth using. But this is a 30-second damage dot. Doesn't do anything until the end, though. Demon Skin, Burning Rush, Dark Pack, same as every build, every tree. From the shadows, casting Call Dreadstalkers causes the target to take 20% additional Shadow Flame damage from you for the next 12 seconds. So that makes your Dreadstalkers, paired with Dreadlash, probably really scary. That was my take on this, why I actually went with Dreadlash and From the Shadows. Soul Strike is a new ability with a 50-yard range. It's a huge range. Huge range. Command your Felguard to strike into the soul of its enemy, dealing it says 132 shadow damage. I don't know if he just like chucks an axe at them or what. It generates a soul shard on a 10-second cooldown, so that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Even if it doesn't do much damage, it's still pretty decent for generation. And summon Vile Fiend, which will take that too. Summon a Vile Fiend to fight for you for the next 15 seconds. 45-second cooldown. I actually haven't seen him come out yet. Dark Fury, Mortal Coil, Demonic Circle, same as every single talent tree so far. We've got Inner Demons. You passively summon a Wild Imp to fight for you every 10 seconds, and have a 10% chance to also summon an additional demon to fight for you for 15 seconds. I've seen people get an extra like 2 to 3 Felguards, which is pretty crazy. But they can be random demons. I saw one guy get, I think it was like an extra Succubus at one point. It was very cool. Definitely totally RNG. Pretty cool though, you get a steady stream of imps at least. Probably would go really well with that power siphon, if you're going to pair it with anything. Soul Conduit, Soul Shard, Refund Chance, pretty standard. And Grimoire of Service, this is the one spec that has service still. Summons a second demon that fights for you for 25 seconds and deals 100% increased damage. 1.5 minutes CD. Demon will use immediately one of its special abilities when summoned. So of course, the Imp is a harmful magic effect, Purge, Voidwalker Taunt, Succubus Seduces, Fellhunter Interrupts, and the Felguard Stuns. Pretty awesome. Decent cooldown, I'm assuming. So it's 1.5 minutes CD, 25 seconds, 100% extra damage. Not sure if that's affected by Demonic Tyrant, but still pretty ridiculous. Oh, and this Inner Demons thing, someone summoned Prince Malchezaar with it the other day. He yelled, "You face not Malchezaar alone, but the legions he commands." Really hilarious stuff. Never expected to see that ever. It was really neat. Down here, sacrifice souls. Each soul shard spent reduces the cooldown of Tyrant by 1 second. So there is your speed up mechanic there. Demonic consumption. Your Tyrant now destroys and absorbs the remaining power of your wild imps to empower himself. Have not used this just yet. Sounds pretty crazy as long as you time it correctly. Nether Portal. If you open a portal to the Twisting Nether for 20 seconds, every time you spend soul shards, you will also command demons from the Nether to come out and fight for you. Not sure at all what comes out of there. That might be where Malchezaar came from. It may not have come from Inner Demons. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, some pretty crazy spells. So let's just take a look. We're just going to get the spell casts off here, just to get them out there. I need to actually go into the spell book, I believe, for the pet summon. Oh, no, there it is. So we'll get our Felguard out. He's your standard pet. And the achievement UI. Oh, no. We got to reload the UI there. That's been a bug for a couple of days now. Move my feedback thing again. Nice little feedback tool. So let's take a peek at this here. Yeah, we're going to summon Dreadstalkers, send them out there. 1,100 from each of them. Again, numbers aren't really all that big of a deal here. You can still use Anna Gul'dan to summon one little imp. The imps now spawn right at you, which is pretty awesome. I got 3 charges of Demonic Core, and I have a Demonic Calling, which is great. So we're going to summon them, and I'm going to use some of these core procs. As you can see here, really big fireballs. We'll get our AoE going. Here come those wings, them flying down there and crashing into the ground. Lots of damage. More core procs. More Hand of Gul'dan. Got another proc for Dreadstalkers. It seems to be par for the course with Dreadstalkers. I've actually had them up for free every time I've touched them. Wow, I just got 2 more procs. Awesome. 2 more? Okay. Again, this seems to be par for the course with these. We'll summon our Dreadstalkers again. Use a couple of those charges there. Gonna summon the Vile Fiend. Summon some imps. I'm gonna summon both imps. Got those out. Summon Demonic Tyrant. See if we can keep everything out there. Should just be incredible damage here. Because we've got a ton of stuff, ton of imps. And again, all these mobs are staying out here with me. I have just got a huge number of things. We're going to summon more imps. And we're going to implode all the imps. Oh my god, so much damage. Wow. That was a lot of damage. My goodness. Cast some more Shadow Bolts. I'm up to 3 stacks of the Dark Core ability. And of course you can do this while you're moving, so that gives you a little bit of movement. Demo, again, looking very incredible. This is definitely the spec to watch for Warlock right now. And again, these Demon Bolts while you're moving look great. I don't know if they're going to keep that Molten Core and keep it as Demon Bolt, or if they're going to change it back. But either way, it looks really awesome. And again, this Vile Fiend comes out. He's pretty big. He's right in there, and he hops in. He stays kind of far out. Doesn't really do much. You think he would summon right on top of it. It's apparently not the case, though. Get those guys back out there. There they go. Summon our demonic tyrant. Get him back out. Hopefully see a lot more imps. Again, this should make all my imps stay out longer. And most of my abilities here, again, are used with soul shards. Every cast is a soul shard in Demonology, which is great. Tyrant is gone. So let's just implode this, see how many imps it sends out. All of them in rapid succession to blow up. Pretty crazy AoE. These demonic cores doing about 1,000, I think? Yeah, around 1,000. So a lot of damage. Again, this AoE from the sky is pretty crazy. They're just kind of sporadically coming in. It's definitely not a finished animation, I don't think. But every time we spend a soul shard, that tyrant is coming off CD. Suspect has a lot going on. Definitely gonna be optimized with some good weak auras and some good trackers. But for the most part, Demonology is shaping up to be really incredible. Really, really incredible. There's a couple other talents I did want to look at. I have to wait till I'm out of combat, though. I am still in combat because of an imp. Damn you, imp. I'm out of combat now. Still in combat. They shouldn't last too much longer. There we go. Now we're out of combat. Just had to run away for a little bit. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to swap back to Dreadlash from the Shadows. Inner Demons we're going to change to Service. And that just put a whole mess of stuff on my bar here, because you got Grimoire Felguard, Grimoire Fell Hunter, all of those. We're going to take Nether Portal, which unfortunately has the same image as Demonic Gateway, which is a problem. So we're going to try Nether Portal, and we're going to go with Inner Demons again. Service is, I mean, we know what Service is. So we're going to go with Inner Demons. We're going to use From the Shadows. Oh, the imp just immediately gets me into combat. Okay. Well, we're trying this build. Thanks for letting me know. There we go. Just sending him in. Go Felguard. Charge, buddy. Charge. Alright. Alright, so we're going to drop some Hands of Gul'dan. See where they go. Got more Demonic Core procs. I do like my Demonic Core. Alright, let's see what Nether Portal does. Alright, so we got an Urzel. We got a big Shavara, who for some reason yelled in a way I didn't expect her to. Another Shavara, a Fellhounds. Got my Tyrant out. Oh boy. That is a lot of different demons. Look at that. Shavara, Doomhounds, all kinds of cool stuff. Wow. So many imps. Look at this imp army I've got. This is crazy. So many imps. And again, let's go ahead and implode them all. Rah! Look at that. They just all get flung in there. A bunch of demonic cores. This spec is so cool to play. So many neat visuals. It's really interesting. I think it is interesting is you can hold on to these Molten Core procs for almost 20 seconds. Now there I summoned an Illidari Satyr. Interesting that I can summon those at all, honestly. I got another Demonic Calling proc. Got a Darkhound that time. Dropping more here. Demonic Core. Which does show down here on this little heads-up display its baseline in the UI now. More Demonic Core proc. Woohoo! I'm not sure why it shows twice when I've only gotten one buff. Still not complaining, though. Still pretty cool. Now, you see, I'm out of imps. I have one that came up baseline. Summon some imps. Summon some more imps. As I'm getting these procs, it summons me even more imps. These demonic cores give me a bunch of soul shards. And then you can send them all in there as bombs. Look at all that damage. Just implode whenever you want. Implode. Kaboom. This is fun. This is fun. I think I very much like Demo. Affliction looking like it's going to be about the same. You know, kind of that pretty easy to get into, fairly laid back spec. You know, not a ton that's going to be on your plate all the time. But enough to keep things interesting, enough utility in Mythic Plus for sure. The thing I'm liking about Demo the most right now, of course, is that, yeah, there's quite a bit there as far as depth. There's so many talents here that I really want to play with, but I'm just not going to have the time to go through them all. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for tuning in today, checking out the stream if you're on Twitch, for watching this on YouTube afterwards. Thank you so much for checking out there. Be sure you like, comment, subscribe, send me money to my Patreon that I don't have. I don't know. You can do what you want. But thanks so much for checking this out, and I will see you guys the next time.